Hi, welcome back to the next video snippet from Angels in Syrup. Today we're going to read the second part of chapter 4. And once again, here's the commercial. I'm going to post a link to the Amazon.com page where you can purchase a copy of this book in ebook, which is really cheap, or paperback, which is more expensive, but you can hold it in your hand, which is great. Anyway, so we'll get back to this and see what you think. Here we go. Delusions didn't sound so bad. Dave would start there. The article told Dave that delusions were strong beliefs despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The angels fit that bill to a T. And then Dave read that delusions are mostly linked to mental or neurological diseases, especially schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and psychotic depression. No, Dave said to himself and clicked on the link to Hallucinations. There are all kinds of hallucinations, Dave discovered, but eating a pastrami sandwich with one and talking to two more while they were sitting on the edge of a dangerous cliff in the middle of a travelogue of Norway didn't fit the descriptions he found on the site. There are disturbances, thin, washed-out things like whispers, nah, and seeing something out of the corner of your eye, nah. These are benevolent or malicious, but the angels weren't praising or cursing Dave, at least not yet, so we let that pass. There are more serious hallucinations that happen when people are falling asleep or waking up, but these didn't fit Dave's experience either. Some shrinks thought they had found a bunch of hallucinations that they call reassuring apparitions. And these are good because when people see them, the people find it easier to deal with bad shit that life throws at them. The only adverse life events that David experienced lately was when his lawnmower broke down, but Mr. Smith fixed it. So unless Mr. Smith was an hallucination, nah, Dave decided. Other doctors of nutsology thought, but never proved, that people who had anomalous perceptual experiences might be more likely to take the next train to Wackyville than those who didn't. Was Dave a methamphetamine addict and didn't remember that he was? According to another link, meth heads see shadow people hanging out or walking up behind them who are obviously up to something, but none of these tweakers ever seem to see shadow dogs, shadow cats, or much less shadow angels. The webpage listed all kinds of hallucinations, a different kind for each sense, and more. If there are visual hallucinations, check, Dave thought. And auditory hallucinations, check again. Hallucinations of smell, taste, and touch, nope, nope, and nope. And proprioceptive. Are the parts of my body where they're supposed to be? Dave took a quick check. Ankle bone connected to the shin bone? Yep, not a prob. Equilibrioceptive. Have I been falling over? Nope. Nociceptive. Random pains? Nope. Thermoceptive? Am I too hot or too cold? Nah, just right, Dave assured himself. And chronoceptive ones. Does anyone really know what time it is, Dave wondered? Does anybody really care? And the internet told Dave that hallucinations are definitely not delusional perceptions. DPs are just real perceptions that seem absurdly significant. Dave wasn't sure just how significant the angels were. And then the article linked to a page about religious hallucinations. Almost every religion has its angels, Dave discovered. Maybe he was experiencing an awakening or something, he thought. But the article just skimmed over conflicting theories about religious hallucinations. Some were positive, some were negative, and all were contradictory. Joan d'Arc and Gandhi both said that they had spoken with God, and speaking with God had become a generally accepted method of receiving a life's calling, especially when you were saving your people from a foreign occupier. Dave didn't much care for the president, but Dave was no savior either. Muhammad's talk with Allah might have been, according to some Western studies, just a symptom of a temporal lobe epilepsy, a theory thoroughly disputed by numerous fatwa. Or maybe the Western studies were wrong and just a tad racist. A popular television talk show guest and successful self-help book author, who was coincidentally a loud and vocal atheist, was of the opinion that people who experience religious hallucinations are just insane, while a prominent psychologist who had been a nun before his reassignment was just as certain that these particular hallucinations are perfectly normal and mentally healthy. A French author, known mostly for his own theories about crop circles and a deleted TED Talk, was convinced that these hallucinations are the result of an overabundance of an hallucinogen that our human bodies manufacture in minute quantities. Dave decided to file this part of his search in the load of crap section of his consciousness. Visions, huh, Dave thought. More religion, he muttered to himself as he read the page. The page told Dave that a dream was something you saw when you were asleep, and a vision was something you see when you're awake. A vision was clearer than a dream and completely unequivocal. The page said that the vision was a religious experience that could be seen more clearly than a dream, and it listed a number of these experiences, all having to do with God, or the Son of God, or the Mother of God, or God's second cousin, or God's heavenly home, or a new version of God, or many gods. And the page told Dave in no uncertain terms that prophecy was usually linked to visions. Fuck, thought Dave. All Dave had seen was a hot dog combo, a pastrami sandwich, and a cliff in Norway with some angels, and none of these visions had given him even the vaguest hint about what was going to happen at any time in the future. So either Dave wasn't very good at this vision stuff, or his experience wasn't in that ballpark. But regardless, Dave knew that he didn't want to know anything that would be foretold from his time with his angels. Dave would not be prognosticating anything, he hoped. And then at the bottom of the page was a link. Dave checked it. And he was taken to a page that explained the two kinds of visual hallucinations, SVH and CVH. Simple visual hallucinations are amorphous, non-formed things, lights, colors, and geometric shapes. Dave had eaten some shrooms once on spring break, so he knew about those. The angels were definitely not one of those. Complex visual hallucinations, CVH, are fully formed, clear, and lifelike, just like angels. And then Dave read one other bit of information. Gluten psychosis can cause some people with non-celiac gluten sensitivity to hallucinate. Maybe I should cut back on bread, Dave thought idly, and then realized how hungry he was. It was lunchtime.